What's the biggest irrational fear that you have besides being unsuccessful? I guess not being enough or not being good enough. And I don't know who for. I don't know who I am scared of not being good enough for or enough for. But just that energy, that insufficient, unwanted, the sense that you always need to prove yourself, you always need to sort of offer the world something in order for it to love you back. And I think the fear of not being enough behind the scenes driven an awful lot.
When I was younger, I had this image in my mind of what does a man look like to me? And I got all these people who were badasses, characters. And in my mind, I became that. And that's what kept me going a lot.
You know, there comes a day, man, everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening, it makes you wanna throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're going to become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a fucking day where push comes to shove, where being mediocre, being like average, and just fucking burns and sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day, and you get off your fucking ass. And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much fucking pain and commitment. You were scared you were gonna fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success to remind you of what you could have been. And then the fucking spark is born.
Becoming this guy, that is the biggest thing I can ever do in my life, is I became that guy. That I once looked at all these guys, now I look at myself like, God, who the fuck can do that? I can. But what it takes is a discipline that no one can ever even, they don't understand it. They don't understand, but everybody has the ability to do it, but they just don't want to. They want to keep asking questions and keep going to seminars. And the greatness is right in you. And that's why, once again, I'll say this a million times here, I do not feel sorry for you. I will not sugarcoat what I'm going to say to you, because all of you know what I'm saying is the truth. Everybody knows it's the truth. This is what it looks like, and you know it too. You know it too. This is what, if you ain't got nothing, I hate to tell you, what it looks like is ugly. It's not a documentary. It's not an HBO special. You ain't gonna watch it, but hey man, you guys gotta watch this. No, it's like, oh God, this looks like a train wreck. It's like a nightmare. This looks like this guy got, no. That's what it looks like. Hard work looks horrible.
There's so much knowledge out there, so much information, so many ways to get better. And we make so many mistakes. We're the product of our mistakes. And oftentimes the lesson is sitting there right in front of our face. It's there to be learned, but we miss it, or we don't pay attention to it, or we think we know better until it punches us in the face. And the most important thing to learn is that we have so much to learn. We all do. And we can learn from school and from people and from experience, and we learn from life. But you have to process the information. You have to absorb it. You have to accept it. You have to open your mind. You gotta free your mind so that you can learn and make real progress. Wouldn't want to take another go at something and improve on the first try by doing it again. And then why not do it again and again and again? And why not just do it over and over again until you have it perfect. But the fact is, you don't get that chance. You get one shot at this gig right here. Life. One life. That's all you've got. And regret, in and of itself, it's worthless. It does nothing for you. In fact, the only valuable thing in regret is the lesson you learned.
Nietzsche said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible." The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
It's not about the shoes. It's about knowing where you're going. Not forgetting where you started. It's about having the courage to fail. Not breaking when you're broken. Taking everything you've been given and making something better. It's about work before glory. And what's inside of you is doing what they say you can't. It's not about the shoes. It's about what you do in them. It's about being who you were born to be.
That today I'm no longer gonna be a fucking loser. Today I'm gonna change my fucking path. I'm gonna get on the path of success. I don't care how long that road is. I'm gonna see it through no matter what. Because you know what? I've been living enough years in this hole. I don't wanna be here anymore. I'm not happy with this. And I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of going through the same circular motion of shit. I wanna be different. And last I look, every single day I'm getting older. Meaning I'm gonna get older and I'm running out of time.
Oh, his life is miserable. Who wants to live like that? It's crazy how it's almost like he's sick, he's psychotic. The most frustrating thing in the world for me is when normal people judge a man like myself on what it really takes to extract greatness from nothing. It takes every bit of who you are if you choose that route.
So no matter who you are, you're going to be disliked, period. I think it is far better to be disliked for being who you are than loved for someone you're not. Yeah.
I prefer to be hated than loved, I will be honest to you. Because when they say they love you, you don't really know. When they say they hate you, trust me, they hate you. You have jealousy, you have people that whatever you're doing, they want to break you. They want to go whatever against you, just to put you down and that. From 10 people, not 10 want to do that things and give you clapping hands or give you compliments. That's why I say when you say some talk bad about you, some talk good. But when they talk bad, you're doing a good job, my friend. Trust me, I went through all of this.
Why I hate being around negative people. Being an asshole is a weak person's idea of strength. Complaining is their connection. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they were afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better?
I used to think that there was something wrong with me, when in reality, I just didn't understand what the nature of being exceptional meant. And so I'm saying this purely from a definitional perspective. To be exceptional means that you are the exception. It means that you are not normal. And so it's normal for normal people to find you abnormal if you do things that are not normal. Don't let people who have mediocre goals deter you from taking actions that make you great, because it makes you different.
If you don't tell people what's going on, they're going to make up their own ideas of what's going on.
realizing that I thought most people actually made no sense. They say they had these goals, but they took no action. And they called me work obsessed, and they would tell me I should take time off. And they're like, hey, you're not as cool anymore. You're not hanging out with the boys. Like, why aren't you participating in the fantasy league? Why aren't you watching football on Sunday with us? And the thing is that like, I looked at that football game and I was like, my goals are more important to me than this. And so I think that a lot of people don't actually look at themselves in the mirror and say, like, 1 year from today, will I remember this football game? Or will I remember the fact that I'm not where I said I wanted to be? And to me, that was significantly more painful.
I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while, the people of this city. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
Being attacked is a sign that you are important enough to be a target. You should relish the attention and the chance to prove yourself.
If everything is easy in life, if everyone loves what you're going to do, and you have no enemies, you have no opposition, nothing to resist, you're just going to be mush. You're not going to amount to anything. You're not going to be able to push yourself. You're not going to be able to change, evolve.
What they typically actually need is the courage to be willing to be wrong and to be willing to have shame by failing at things in front of people whose opinions they care about.
One thing in life, this applies to everything in life. Anytime you move from being normal to trying to be exceptional, people aren't gonna like that shit. Those normal people, it makes them feel like this, they're gonna judge you. And nowadays, it's very easy to be a fucking coward. Why? We got Instagram and shit. Most folks don't tell you to your face. They go online, they post about like cowards. Don't let cowards get in your fucking head. And last thing, make sure you do you, stay hard.
Those that are influenced by their haters, by their naysayers, and then therefore change their game.
Even if you win, you still lose. Because they got you to change your game.
Your game changed.
And they didn't even know that you were playing.
Yeah.
There needs to be a name for what that is. It's like goal hijack, right? Where you do something to try and prove a point to somebody that didn't even know that you were doing it because of them. You consider it a kind of win because you did win, but you hijacked your own goal to prove to somebody else that you can do it better than them. So even if you beat them, they still beat you.
Yeah.
Walk away from anyone or anything that gives you bad vibes. There's no need to explain yourself. There's no need to feel bad about it. This is your life. Make more space for your peace and your happiness. There is no more room for negativity in your future.
If you're allowing people and things and situations to on space in your fucking head, you're losing. Last thing, life's one big head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your fucking head. Stay hard.
You lose. Every time you bite with that nigga, and I'm the one that pays for it. And you gonna get off his corners? You gonna leave his people be? Or you the one that's gonna find yourself a new plug? You don't mean that shit? The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Lose! I don't lose! I win! I win! That's my job! That's what I do!
I don't feel pressure. I don't feel pressure. I mean, put more pressure on me because right now I don't feel no pressure, you know what I mean? So I don't feel pressure. People say I've got the weight of the nation on my shoulders, you know what I mean? Well then throw a few more nations on because I don't feel that weight, you know what I mean? Throw Scotland on there, throw them all on because I don't feel it, you know what I mean? I'm doing what I'm doing. I've been feeling like this guy all the time, you know what I mean? So I feel like the champ already, you know what I mean? So I keep going, keep doing my thing.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner, that my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
It isn't a quick path, and there are no shortcuts. Meditation won't get you there, and neither will a miracle drug or an organic supplement or some superfood. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. It's a campaign of hard work and dedication. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between. Every single day. But walking around filled with regret gets you nothing. So, learn and move on. Don't let regret beat you down. Don't be a slave to regret. No. Let it teach you. Let it make you better. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action. Today. Now. To take action now to become a better person. Not filled with regret, but filled with knowledge. Filled with knowledge and strength and power and filled with life.
So we let these things slip. Because it takes so long to see the progress, we let them slip. And when we don't do them, it becomes 0 times 100 or 0 times 1,000. And that nets out to a 0. One day in the gym is basically imperceivable. 2 days in the gym, you don't recognize any change whatsoever. 100 days in the gym, and you're almost a new person.
Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been.
Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
And sometimes all the voices are telling you the wrong shit, man. But through years, not a podcast or listening to a book or reading a book, years of sacrifice, of suffering, of diligent, pinpoint fucking work on what you want to do for yourself. Not like, oh, let me just do a bunch of shit. I want to be in every task possible. No. Pinpoint what I want to do with my life. What happens is you have all these voices that are telling you you're fucked up and this is gonna be hard, but for some reason, you put so much practice into you that you can ignore every one of them that are telling you you're not gonna make it and still be able to make it. Because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process. It's such a daunting task that all the voices are saying no. But you still have the conviction that I know I can do this.
When you do anything, it adds up. When you do nothing, it amounts to 0. So take the small steps every day. Do what you're supposed to do. And don't expect some incredible results in 1 day or 2 days or 10 days. Worthwhile things take 100 days. They take 500 days. Maybe they take 5,000 days. They take time. But it's little steps that add up. So put in the daily effort. Let that be your reward. Reward yourself. Feel gratification from knowing that you moved the needle, even just a little bit. Rome wasn't built in a day.
If you fall down and drop the weight on the floor, who cares? Who cares? But if you make it, I care. I want that. I want you to fail, and I want you to get up and do it again. The same thing in life is the same thing here. If you can do this, you can do anything. Anything. Right now, you're 5% away. 5% away from being a champion. Okay, let's go.
So why not respond to time, Ariel. Patience. Patience is a skill we must master. Patience is one of the most valuable skills a human being must master. And I'm working hard to master it, and I feel I'm getting there. So time will show all of them.
I'm not saying it's easy, man. The results you get, you're gonna love them, man. It's gonna make all the sweat equity, all this pain right now, all worthwhile. The thing about pain is, like, you feel it right now, it's temporary, man.
No one can touch this. That's what I'm talking about, guys. If I would have shut down, and give in, I wouldn't remember that pain anymore. It's a funny story because I have a picture of me puking, but I don't really physically remember the pain of it. I remember the accomplishment of it. So at those times where you're questioning if you have anything left, no, a day from then, a week from then, a month from then, a year from then, you will never remember the discomfort of the pain. You will always remember the pride of the accomplishment. That lives on. That's why pain is temporary. Pride is forever, guys. You give it your all, you get it all.
Because at the end of the day, all of this hardship will be forgotten. It will fade into your memory. And so know that as you're going through it, you're actually just going to disproportionately in your memory remember the good stuff and not the bad stuff. I only have a few glimpses in my memory of the time when I was sleeping on the floor and I had my gym and I was getting started, and I remember being so tired that like a good night's sleep couldn't fix it. I remember that, but it's almost like I remember the words that I told myself more than I even remember the experiences because it was so long ago. Things will get better, and you will remember the betterness more than you remember the suffering, because the betterness will carry over in today, which will always be fresher for you than how long ago the suffering may have been.
What would you say to someone who's going through a string of bad days or bad weeks or bad months?
Say it's okay. You're not alone. It's how you handle your sufferings. When you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery and shitty, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering,
Do you think somebody in the Stone Ages had depression? Yeah, or even a more modern variation, the Spartans. Do you think they had depression? Maybe you are laughing, but all of these groups, they are too busy with their body, they are too busy with activity to be depressed. Yeah, but nowadays, how does the time look? You can sit if you want from morning till evening just in front of the screen, and nothing's gonna happen anymore.
You're depressed because you're not doing with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. If some of you aren't doing your 10% is just getting off the couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
But if you're able to just stick in what you're doing right now, and in those hard times, believing they're going to lead to good times.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.